It's dosing and dagging, clipping and tagging, rattling, teasing, topping, flushing and sponging, scanning and lambing, shedding, bedding, redding. The last couple of weeks are at the end of her pregnancy. That's when the lambs grow the most inside her, and they're crushing on her stomach and making her stomach smaller, and she may find it hard to eat enough to support all the life that's in her. So you need to be very careful with ones, and she's carrying triplets. You need to be very careful with those and keep your eye on them, because they can go down with you and be unrecoverable. So the remedy for that is feed them as much concentrate meal with as high a protein as you can. So I just am bringing her in just for the last few days of her pregnancy, just to give her a lot more meal and keep check on her. Somebody was asking me about the names of sheep. She's called V8 because she has a big deep voice, and you could hear her on a foggy night away across the fields. She goes brrr, like a V8 lorry. So you just name anything a silly name. At the end of the day, whenever my wife's walking around the flock in the field in the morning or the evening or whatever, and she comes in and says, V8's got a sore foot, or there's maggots on her, or whatever, I know exactly which one she's talking about, rather than having to bring them in and look at ear tags and fiddle about like that. So that's the reason. When it's not the only reason we name them, but it's handy to have names for them. Some of them anyway, you couldn't name them all. There's brown spot lammy, there's Marge, there's Isabel, Lottie May. Oh, there's a whole heap of them. But you'll get to know them as we're lambing them here. It's handy too for records keeping, just for our own mental record, when you have a name for a sheep. So there you are, that's that little story. So this is my little back shed with the enclosure for the triplets, which they're all in at the minute. These are mostly triplets. So they're very comfortable. It's airy, it's light, and they can be in and dry. You see this girl sitting up here in the middle of the screen. Now, usually when they get very heavy, they get uncomfortable, and you'll see them sitting on their bum with their front legs straight up to give a little bit of relief to the pressure. Now that was Marge calling there. Did you hear her? She goes, wah. Marge was named after a local lady who came in when she was born as a little lamb, so that's how she got Marge. But they're shouting because they want to go out and get their meal. And that big one at the back right there shaking its head, that's Skippy. Isn't that right, Skippy? And this is Butterfly. She's a Texel. Broad head, broad muzzle. And this little girl is called the brown spot lammy. Now she's been at her molasses bucket, which is high energy lick. She's been in at it, nibbling, and it's all around her mouth. But she's an old girl, and there's a little brown spot just above her eye there. You just see it. So she was named Brown Spot Lammy, and she's been with us from the start. And she's having twins, but she's that bit older, so we just have her in for a little extra TLC. Here we go. Out for a nibble. Oh, girls. And while they're out, I'll tidy up their house here, Scratch. Place, a lot more room. You wouldn't be using one of these, you'd be using the tractor. But this is sheep on a shoestring. It's not often we buy new machinery, but I promised my wife a nice surprise for Valentine's Day. And of course, didn't it get held up with all this COVID and everything else. But anyway, here's the big unveiling. A brand new wheelbarrow. Now she has an old one here, but she said she loved it that much. So I just thought I'll surprise her with a new wheel. And not only that, it's a tipper. I'm going to have to stop spoiling my wife like this. Not 3 months ago I bought her 6 meters of concrete for doing a bay in the back shed, so she's really quite spoiled. And I'm just noticing the rooks up on our trees here are paying a little bit of interest in the nests. There's only a couple of nests hanging up there. They're blown down with those gales we had, but there's about 15 or 16 nests usually in here. If I was reseeding this field here into new grass, fresh grass, the larvae of the leather jacket come and they're in the soil and they nibble the roots of the new grass as it comes up and kill it off on you. So the crows sort them out. Also this little paddock here, I had manure. The contractors came and put manure out on some of the other fields as well. So I'll just upload a little video of you doing it. It's nice to watch machinery working, so your farmyard manure is put out on your fields in the autumn time for fertilizer. So enjoy this little clip. This is the end of another day and we're just checking up the nighttime check and a little feed up again. So all seems to be good, and hopefully I should have lambs in a day or two. 23rd's when we're due, but something will probably be a day or so earlier, I would say. So that'll be about Monday. So I'll just close down this little blog now. If you want to contact me, ask any questions, feel welcome. I'll try and answer them on the YouTube, or else if you go to lowcountryboys.com/Ivan, that'll take you into the site, and at the top right hand side of the page there's an email, contact Ivan. There's also little videos up there, have a look at them. Hit the subscribe button, that seems to help for some reason. The thumbs up, and if you know anyone else post it round to them that would be interested in it, and we'll see how it can go. There's a whole lot of things I would like to do, some old stories from local old farmers and some sort of semi-famous people from the 1800s, and things that I've found out just with hearing old local stories. That kind of stuff, I'd like to do some of that as well. But we're in the middle of lambing, so here we go. See you next vlog.
Lying in bed, my wife, she said, I'm